Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath visited the Soo last evening as part of a province-wide tour to talk about health care. Sooites voiced their concerns like hallway health care, privatization, and funding or job cuts at a town hall meeting held at the Delta. OnTV was there and caught up with Horwath after the Q&A session.
There's real problems with the system already. We already know people are getting care in hallways in hospitals, that long-term care is not providing the quality of service that our loved ones deserve, that our home care system is in shambles, that people in northern communities particularly don't have equitable access to healthcare in the first place, and that this government is going to upend a broken system. It's going to fund it much less than what it needs to be funded in the first place. It's cutting funding, and the government says, "Oh, we're not cutting funding," but if you're not funding to the rate of inflation, then that's a cut. So we're going to see organizations that are already struggling to provide service have to find ways to provide that service with even less money. So we're going to continue to hear people's voices. We're going to bring their stories to the legislature. So we're going to talk about some of the things that were discussed today here in Sault Ste. Marie, and we're going to keep putting pressure on the government. And I just encourage everybody, whether it's here in the Soo, whether it's in the broader Algoma district, whether it's anywhere in the north, whether it's anywhere in Ontario, tell your Conservative MPPs that you don't want privatization in our healthcare system.
Algoma Public Health is getting their system back up and running following a ransomware attack on April 19th that blocked access to their servers. There are programs and services, though, that are still canceled in the Soo office today, including the Oral Health Clinic, Parent-Child Information Center, Nurse Practitioner Clinic, the Travel Clinic, and Immunization Clinic. The Appointment Line, the Parent-Child Information Line, the Sexual Health Information Line are all still down. All offices remain open and staff are available to assist you, though. Yesterday, representatives from Soo College and the Sault Ste. Marie Region Conservation Authority signed a memorandum of understanding that will support both student learning and collaboration. The signing, which took place days after celebrating Earth Day, indicates the college's commitment to establishing new and valuable learning opportunities for students while strengthening community relationships and sustainability within the Algoma region. The partnership will provide both organizations with the opportunity to promote education, research, and conservation in the Algoma region, and will serve as a basis for information and data sharing. Students from college's natural environment programs will benefit. Jody Wilson-Raybould and Jane Philpott, former Liberal cabinet ministers who were kicked out of caucus early in April, spoke to BC's First Nations Justice Council. Wilson-Raybould says she fears the federal government has fallen back into managing the problem of First Nations.
Work moving forward also requires the basic Crown recognition of Indigenous title, rights, and governments to take place. This is something that little over a year ago I expected was going to happen imminently, following the Prime Minister's historic words in the House of Commons. As you all know, this has not occurred, and I fear we may have temporarily fallen back into a less audacious, less meaningful conversation and mode of work that, while perhaps more comfortable, will not achieve the transformative space that is required.
Former Vice President Joe Biden formally joined the crowded Democratic 2020 presidential field today, marking what will likely be the 76-year-old's final opportunity to seek a job he's actually been eyeing for more than a generation.
Ending months of speculation, former Vice President Joe Biden is making it official, formally declaring his bid for the White House, joining an already crowded and diverse Democratic field. Though his announcement is hardly a surprise.
I appreciate the energy you showed when I got up here. Save it a little longer. I may need it in a few weeks.
Biden's formal declaration finally resolves the last big open question about the field and propels him instantly to the front of the pack in the early polls. But Biden's campaign hit a major stumble before it began, rocked by controversy in recent weeks over allegations of inappropriate, albeit non-sexual, interactions with a number of women. Biden denies any improper contact, but says he gets that social norms are shifting.
I hear what they're saying. I understand it. And I'll be much more mindful. That's my responsibility.
Still, analysts say the controversy highlights what could be his biggest challenge in the race, navigating the current generational shift going on in the Democratic Party.
We are a diverse country.
Democrats will be mounting a younger and more diverse candidate pool than we've seen recently. And his demographics, age, gender, and race, don't match up very well with the diversity of the rest of the pool.
The former vice president enters the race as a moderate establishment candidate in a field dominated by those battling to be the progressive standard bearer. This will be the 76-year-old Biden's third run for the White House, and critics say he'll face an uphill battle attracting new voters in a party longing for an energetic, fresh face. But Biden supporters argue his foreign policy chops, working-class Rust Belt appeal, and his candor, ironically something that has plagued him in the past, give him a leg up on most of the others in the field.
One of the big advantages of a Biden candidacy is that he has a great common touch. He knows how to speak to the average citizen in a language and on the themes that they're interested in.
And those supporters believe he's exactly what the party needs to win against Trump. Kelly Daschle, Associated Press.